What's going on, everybody? Justin here again, coming at you with another year in wrestling video. This is the year in wrestling 2004 part 3 coming at you right now. I'm going to talk about August of 04 until the end of the year. This will be my last video on the year 2004. Before I start talking about SummerSlam, I'll show you a live event ticket that I went to in January 04 on January 18th. It was on a Sunday afternoon. It was a WWE Raw house show, Raw brand house show. Here's a ticket. Road to WrestleMania house show. There it is. Hopefully you can see it and see the date on it. So there it is. It was a pretty good house show. It was pretty fun. Shawn Michaels is there. The main event was the Dudley Boys against Batista and Ric Flair for the tag titles. So that was a pretty fun house show to be at. And I forget who else was on it. Shawn Michaels, Dudley's, Ric Flair, Batista. Triple H was not there. And I don't remember who else was on it. But anyways, it was a fun house show to be at. And live event. Okay, now I'm going to start talking about SummerSlam 2004, which took place in Canada, in Toronto. And WWE has not really been back to Canada for a pay-per-view in a very, very long time. I don't know why they haven't returned to Toronto and done any pay-per-views in Toronto. I don't know, and I don't have that answer. But they haven't. They should, because there's a lot of great, passionate, hardcore WWE fans in Canada that I know and I talk to on Twitter. There's a lot of great wrestling fans in Canada, and they do deserve a major WWE pay-per-view. They do deserve for WWE to return to Canada and put a pay-per-view on there. Either they deserve a Royal Rumble or a WrestleMania, Survivor Series, or SummerSlam again. So, SummerSlam kicked off with the Dudleys and Spike Dudley in a 6-man tag, defeating Billy Kidman, Paul London. They were a new tag team on SmackDown, teaming up, and Rey Mysterio. So the Dudleys and Spike defeated them. Up next, Kane was in a feud. I believe he kidnapped Lita, or tried to marry her, I think. He had to they put a wedding on Raw where Kane was trying to marry Lita. Anyways, Kane defeated Matt Hardy. It was a pretty good match. And then a pre-match stipulation, so this did not happen before SummerSlam, it happened after. Kane defeated Matt Hardy, so that means Lita had to agree to marry Kane. And that would happen on a Raw. And then Trish Stratus would actually come out during that wedding and I believe talk a lot of trash to Lita, get in her face and talk trash. And Trish came out in white lingerie and said to Lita, "I wore white because I knew you couldn't." A little joke there, claiming, I guess, Lita was on her period or something. Anyways, a sick joke there, but it was funny when Trish said that line, "I wore white because I knew you couldn't, Lita." That was a funny line, and I laughed at it. I thought it was funny. Anyways, Trish comes out in that white lingerie on Raw, and my God, she looked hot as hell. So, Kane defeated Matt Hardy at SummerSlam 04. John Cena defeated U.S. champion Booker T in the first match of the Best of 5 series for the U.S. title. Intercontinental Champion Edge who just won the title at Vengeance 04. I don't know if I covered Vengeance 04. Not that much happened. I'll just say Edge won the Intercontinental title from Randy Orton, and the main event was Raw World Heavyweight Champion Chris Benoit defeating Triple H. And that's basically the only good stuff worth mentioning that happened at Vengeance 04 in July. It was a Raw pay-per-view. Back to SummerSlam. Edge defeated Chris Jericho and Batista in a triple threat match to retain the Intercontinental title. Triple H defeated Eugene, which they had a pretty damn good build-up because Triple H was claiming, or Eugene thought Triple H was his friend, and he wasn't. Triple H, I believe, turned on or beat the crap out of William Regal, who was like a babysitter to Eugene. I believe Regal was, he wasn't the Raw general manager, but he was just a tag partner of Eugene's and like a babysitter and a friend. So Triple H beat the crap out of Regal, I believe in a hotel room or something, and Regal was all bloodied. And Eugene wanted his revenge, and he got it, but not really, because Triple H defeated Eugene at SummerSlam. JBL defended the WWE Championship against The Undertaker, and JBL defeated The Undertaker by DQ. I wanted Undertaker to win and defeat JBL, but it didn't happen. Anyways, Taker goes on top of the roof of JBL's white limo and chokeslams him through the roof. So he goes inside the limo. That was a pretty cool spot. But I'm pretty sure everybody in the arena and probably even watching the pay-per-view could tell on top of the limo, I believe it was like a plastic or rubber type roof, and they had a hole cut in it across the middle, so when Taker chokeslammed JBL, he basically just fell through the hole in the roof that WWE cut in the limo. And the Diva Search has started, and at SummerSlam they had a dodgeball. They actually had a dodgeball match between the WWE Divas, Trish. I don't think she competed in it because I think she had still had a broken wrist or something. Anyways, Trish was there, I believe. Gail Kim, Victoria, Molly Holly, I think Jazz, and maybe some other divas competed in the dodgeball match against the Diva Search competitors. So that was kind of entertaining. And who was left in the Diva Search, by this time, Candice Michelle got eliminated real fast. So I don't think she was in the dodgeball match at SummerSlam. But I'm pretty sure Christy Hemme was left. She was there. Carmella was there. Former Playboy Playmate of the Year, Carmella. I never thought she's that hot. She's a bit too skinny for me, and she was flat-chested, but I think pretty sure she got breast implants later on after WWE. So whatever. Christy was decent looking, but not that hot. I'm not saying Christy's ugly, I'm just saying I don't think she was that hot. Maria was much hotter. Joy Giovanni was in the Diva Search. She was much hotter. I believe Amy, she was in the Diva Search, but she might have been eliminated already by SummerSlam. Amy Weber. And then there's some tall black chick that was in the Diva Search. I forget her name. And the other competitors they had were two twins. These two blonde twins were in it. They actually, before the Diva Search, they were actually part of The Man Show. If you don't know what The Man Show is, it was a show that Jimmy Kimmel did with Adam Carolla. I used to watch it, and I was a fan of it. It was called The Man Show on Comedy Central. Anyways, those twins from the Diva Search were in The Man Show, and they were juggy dancers. So, whatever. There's some history of the twins there. If you didn't know that, they were involved in The Man Show. And who else was involved? I think I named everybody. Carmella. Basically, the ones that are only left in wrestling are Maria and Christy Hemme, who works in TNA still as a ring announcer. So they're the only ones left out of the Diva Search. Candice Michelle lasted, I think, 4 or 5 years in the WWE. She won the women's title, and I don't think she was Divas champion, but she was women's champion, so Candice had a good run. Maria never won a WWE championship or Divas title or women's title. So the only ones out of the Diva Search, the first ever Diva Search, the only ones that had the most success was probably Maria, who is still, as I said, in the business. She's in ROH. Maria and Candice Michelle had the most success, and I guess you could say Christy Hemme also had the most success because she posed for Playboy, and then she's went to TNA, and she's been there a very long time. So they had a dodgeball fight, and I don't remember who won it. I think the WWE Divas defeated the Diva Search girls. Up next was the main event of SummerSlam 04. It was the Raw World Heavyweight Champion Chris Benoit defending against Randy Orton, the Legend Killer. I think they were calling him the Legend Killer at the time. He was part of Evolution. And they had a great match. It was a great main event and a great World Heavyweight title match. Randy Orton defeats Chris Benoit and shocks all the fans. And the fans in Toronto, when Randy Orton won the title, they gave him a pretty great reaction, and they were really happy. I don't know why they'd be so happy, because Chris Benoit just lost, and he was from Canada. Anyways, Randy Orton becomes the new World Heavyweight Champion. It was a great moment. It was great for his career. And at the time he won it, I believe they started saying he was the youngest World Heavyweight Champion ever. I think he was 23 at the time. Maybe I'm wrong. Whatever. I guess Randy Orton was younger than Brock when Brock won the title, because they started calling Randy Orton the youngest World Heavyweight Champion ever. But I don't think he was the youngest WWE Champion ever, because Randy Orton won the World Heavyweight Championship, which was not the WWE Championship. Now, so that's in the SummerSlam. If I grade it or rate it 1 to 10, I'd give it a 8 or 9. I'll just say it was a 9, because I was very happy that Randy Orton won the World Heavyweight Championship, and I actually marked out. I was really happy Randy became the World Heavyweight Champion, and I was hoping he would get a longer run than he did, but obviously he did not, and he was buried by Triple H at the next pay-per-view, Unforgiven 04. Took place in Portland, Oregon. Let's see, I'm going to read the matches that I think are worth mentioning that I enjoyed the most. Chris Benoit and William Regal defeated Batista and Ric Flair in a good tag match to kick off the pay-per-view. Women's champion Trish Stratus defeated Victoria in a good match. That's not worth mentioning. Jericho defeated Christian in a ladder match to win the vacated Intercontinental Championship. I don't know why Edge had to vacate it. I don't remember why Edge had to give it up. I just don't remember why. I don't know why. He must have got injured. Anyways, Jericho becomes the new Intercontinental Champion. Of course, he is a record-setting 9-time Intercontinental Champion. We all know that. Shawn Michaels defeated Kane in a no DQ match. That was good. Tag team titles, Raw Tag Team Championships. La Resistance defeated Rhino and Tajiri. In the main event, Triple H, Evolution the night, I believe after SummerSlam, Evolution threw a party for Randy Orton. They had gold confetti come down from the ceiling, and Triple H acted happy for Randy Orton and he became the World Heavyweight Champion, but he really wasn't. He was jealous as hell in the storyline, and he was probably jealous backstage because Triple H wanted to be the top guy no matter what. He wanted to be the world champion, even if he held down his friends and some guys he liked. He held them back by just defeating them and getting the World Heavyweight Championship back, because in 2002 to probably 2002 to 2005, that's what Triple H did. He held down a lot of guys, put himself over, and just would not do the job to many wrestlers at all. Like this. And he buried a lot of talents also from 2002 to 2005. He buried a lot of fucking wrestlers, and that was wrong of him to do it. And I hope he regrets doing what he did now a little bit. He should regret it because he was wrong for doing it. He was definitely wrong for defeating Randy Orton at Unforgiven. That was the main event. Triple H challenged Randy Orton for the World Heavyweight Championship. Randy Orton was a babyface at the time. Fans were behind him. He should have retained the World Heavyweight Championship, but no, Triple H in his ego at the time could not let that happen. He could not not be World Heavyweight Champion, so Triple H just had to get the title back and defeat Randy Orton because, as I said, that's what he did. From 2002 to 2005, that's what Triple H did, is bury a lot of talent. He buried Booker T. He buried Randy Orton. He even buried Goldberg, and even though he had Goldberg defeat him for the World Heavyweight Championship, he's probably playing a lot of backstage politics against Goldberg to not get Goldberg the World Heavyweight Championship sooner. And he wouldn't job to Kane over the World Heavyweight Championship. He wouldn't even, Triple H wouldn't even job his, he did job his best friend Shawn Michaels at Survivor Series 02, but then a month later he had to get the World Heavyweight Championship back. And Triple H could even jobbed and lost the World Heavyweight title at Royal Rumble 04 to Shawn Michaels, but he did not. So Triple H defeats Randy Orton at Unforgiven to win the World Heavyweight Championship back. I was really angry about it. I was pissed off. I didn't agree with it, but whatever. It happened, and it's part of history. Now, before I talk about No Mercy, I'm going to talk about NWA TNA. Or I think they just tried going with the TNA name now, and they tried to drop NWA from it. Anyways, just moving my head to look at the time of the video. TNA had their last ever Wednesday night pay-per-view. They used to put on weekly Wednesday night pay-per-views from June 2002 until September 2004. So well over 2 years of TNA doing Wednesday weekly $10 pay-per-view events that were 2 hours long. So September 2004 TNA had their last Wednesday pay-per-view. I don't know the date. I just know it was in September because I ordered it. You had Jeff Hardy on the show do a contract signing. Dusty Rhodes was in the ring. I believe he was the director, the DOA of TNA, Director of Operations, or Director of Authority, or something like that. So Dusty Rhodes was in the ring, gave Jeff Hardy the contract to sign to take on Jeff Jarrett in the NWA title match for their November pay-per-view, where TNA would put on their first ever Sunday night 3-hour pay-per-view in November of 2004. So Jeff Hardy signed a contract on this September Wednesday pay-per-view to take on Jeff Jarrett and go after the NWA World title in November on Sunday night pay-per-view. In TNA's first ever 3-hour pay-per-view. On this show in September, their last Wednesday night weekly pay-per-view, the main event was Ron Killings, R-Truth, taking on Jeff Jarrett for the NWA World title. They put on a pretty good match. R-Truth at the time was in his prime. He looked great in the ring, and he was already a former NWA World Champion, but he did not defeat Jeff Jarrett. And Jeff Jarrett, to me, I didn't like him at the time in 04, just like I didn't like Triple H. I mean, you can compare Triple H and Jeff Jarrett. You can compare them like they were similar a lot because neither guy really wanted a job and lose their world titles, and neither guy really wanted to put anybody over, and both guys buried a lot of talent. But I would have to say Triple H was worse and buried way more talent than Jeff Jarrett did. His time as NWA World Heavyweight Champion. Can't breathe, so I need a drink. My nose is all fucking stuffed. But I'll continue. So Jeff Jarrett, as I said, defeated R-Truth in September 04 on their last Wednesday weekly pay-per-view. Now on to WWE No Mercy, which was a SmackDown pay-per-view in October of 04. I don't know why they put Eddie in this match, but Eddie Guerrero defeated Luther Reigns, and that was just bad booking, and Eddie Guerrero did not deserve that, to be put in a match with Luther Reigns. They should have way more for Eddie to do than put him against Luther Reigns, a guy who was basically a jobber and did not even last long in the WWE. Cruiserweight champion Spike Dudley defeated Nunzio. Nunzio was Little Guido from ECW, if you didn't know. Billy Kidman was feuding with his former tag team partner Paul London, so Billy Kidman defeated Paul London. SmackDown Tag Team Champions. I can't believe they were even tag champions, but they were. Rene Dupree and Kenzo Suzuki defeated Rey Mysterio and Rob Van Dam. The Big Show defeated Kurt Angle. John Cena defeated U.S. champion Booker T in the finals of the Best of 5 series to win the U.S. title, so Cena becomes the new U.S. champion, I believe, for the second time. That was boring. Charlie Haas, Rico, and Jackie Gata took on the Dudleys and Don Marie. SmackDown champion JBL defeated The Undertaker after Heidenreich interfered. And I believe this was, I don't think that match at No Mercy might have been, I don't remember what type of match it was. It might have been a gimmick match. but I guess I'm wrong. The gimmick match, I think, at No Mercy, it was at No Mercy 05. It was Randy Orton against The Undertaker, I think, in a Hearst match or something. Let me look. Yeah, handicapped casket match was at No Mercy 05 involving The Undertaker. But I'm not talking about 05, I'm talking about 04. So JBL retains because the monster, the crazy man, Heidenreich, interfered. I was never a fan of Heidenreich. I thought he sucked and he was boring and he couldn't really work. For a big man, he wasn't a great worker. He wasn't that awful, but he wasn't any good. I think Sid was a lot better than Heidenreich. They had a similar look, but Sid was way better. And then they did that stupid, I think in 2004, maybe it was 05, they did that stupid backstage segment on SmackDown with Heidenreich kidnapping Michael Cole and holding him hostage in his locker room, and then Cole tried to run out the door, and then Heidenreich went up against Cole and basically rubbed and pushed himself on the back of Michael Cole like he was gonna, like, and then Cole had a funny look on his face like he was getting fucked in the ass by Heidenreich. I don't know what the hell WWE was doing or thinking by doing that, but it was just stupid. It was a stupid, pointless backstage segment, and it didn't make Heidenreich look strong by abducting Michael Cole and putting him up against the wall like he was in jail and fucking him in the ass. That was just stupid, and it didn't get Heidenreich over at all. It just probably made every fan think, what the fuck is Heidenreich doing to Cole? This is stupid and pointless. Anyways, Michael Cole tried, and I guess he was funny, and he made that segment work because his facial expressions in it. Up next, after No Mercy, was Raw's Taboo Tuesday pay-per-view, which took place 2 weeks after No Mercy. So in October they had 2 pay-per-views. That's too many, but WWE did it because they had the Raw brand and the SmackDown brand. Taboo Tuesday was in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, my hometown where I still live. And I went to Taboo Tuesday. Here's a ticket to prove it. There it is. Hopefully you can read it and see it. There it is. Paid, this ticket was, I believe, $20, and I had floor seats, very good seats right by the entranceway, so I was very happy with the seats I had for only $20. There it is, my Taboo Tuesday ticket stub. Still have it because I saved all my WWE live events. I save all the tickets for them because I want to, because I just did. So, Taboo Tuesday took place, as I said, in my hometown. Matches I enjoyed. Benjamin defeated Intercontinental Champion Chris Jericho to win the Intercontinental title to kick off Taboo Tuesday. Women's Champion Trish Stratus won a Battle Royal when she last eliminated Molly Holly, and this was a Halloween costume Battle Royal. I believe Trish came out in a schoolgirl outfit, and she looked smoking fucking hot. She looks hot as hell in it. Stacy Keibler, excuse me for belching. I just ate a lot of food before this. I apologize, but people belch. Get over it. If you're angry about it, too bad. What was I saying? Stacy Keibler was also in the Halloween costume Battle Royal for the Women's Championship. She was dressed up in some outfit. I think a schoolgirl outfit. It was also hot as hell because Stacy was hot as hell, in my opinion. Trish was also. So Trish retains the women's title. Snitsky defeated Kane in a match where they could use a steel chain. That was boring. Eugene defeated Eric Bischoff in a hair versus hair match, and Eric actually got his head shaved bald. That was entertaining to see live. To see Bischoff get his head shaved live right in front of me. Or I wasn't right there, but I was close by. Chris Benoit and Edge defeated Raw Tag Team Champions La Resistance to win the tag titles. So we had a new Intercontinental Champion earlier, and now we have new tag champs. Christy Hemme defeated Carmella in a lingerie pillow fight. That was pretty boring, but I guess it was nice to see two hot chicks in lingerie. Raw World Heavyweight Champion Triple H defeated Shawn Michaels after Edge interfered, and I believe ran in and speared HBK. Shawn Michaels came into this World Heavyweight title match with a knee injury that he suffered, I believe, the night before on Raw, because Raw was, of course, Monday night. It always is. And Taboo Tuesday was the next night on Tuesday. So Shawn Michaels had a bad knee injury, but he still competed. He limped to the ring and he still competed. It was great to see HBK live and in person again. I saw him at Raw in 2003 and at a house show in 2004 and at Taboo Tuesday 2004. And then I would see him again at a live event that I went to in 2008 before WrestleMania 24, I believe. So now the main event was Randy Orton taking on Nature Boy Ric Flair, and they had the Taboo Tuesday voting gimmick going on, where you could vote the stipulation for the Orton versus Ric Flair match. This was continuing the storyline where Randy Orton was basically fighting all of Evolution. Last month he went against Triple H, now Ric Flair, and I think later on he'd go against Batista some way or sometime. So the fans voted on the internet, and they picked a steel cage match for Ric Flair to take on Randy Orton, and it was a great old school bloody steel cage match like it should be, where both guys bled a lot. Ric Flair bled a ton, or pretty much. I think Randy Orton bled a little bit more. Both of them after the match were covered in blood. Their faces were just pouring in blood and covered in blood. It was a good cage match between Ric Flair, the legendary veteran, and Randy Orton, who was a great young talent in his prime. The guy's still in his prime, but he keeps getting injured, having shoulder issues. Anyways, after the match, Randy Orton wins, defeating Ric Flair. That was nice and cool of Ric Flair to put over Randy Orton and kind of pass him the torch. After the match, Randy Orton lifts up and raises Ric Flair's hand, and they both stare at each other as a bloody messes. So that ends Taboo Tuesday. I was there live, and I really enjoyed being there live. I was sitting next to other wrestling fans. We started talking about a lot of the past, of what happened, what has happened in the past in wrestling history. We talked about a lot of wrestlers that were gone, no longer with us. So it was good times at Taboo Tuesday, talking with other wrestling fans I was sitting next to and watching the pay-per-view. It was good times. So I was there, so I'd give it a 10. Very good pay-per-view to be at and enjoyable. Now I'm going to talk about Survivor Series 04. Cruiserweight Champion Spike Dudley defeated Billy Kidman, Chavo Guerrero, and Rey Mysterio in a fatal 4-way after Spike pinned Chavo Guerrero to retain. Benjamin took on and defeated Christian in a one-on-one match. That was pretty pointless to put on Survivor Series, but whatever. I think it's for the Intercontinental title. So Benjamin retained. The team of Big Show. This was, I believe, Team SmackDown. All these guys were on SmackDown, on the SmackDown brand. The Big Show, who was a babyface at the time, I believe. Big Show, John Cena, Eddie Guerrero, and Rob Van Dam defeated the other team of SmackDown superstars, Kurt Angle, Carlito, Caribbean Cool, who was making his pay-per-view debut. After this, they just start calling him Carlito. I don't know why they had to call him Carlito Caribbean Cool. That was too long of a name and a stupid name. So Kurt Angle, Carlito, Mark Jindrak, and Luther Reigns were all defeated in a Survivor Series elimination match. And the team of Big Show, John Cena, and Eddie Guerrero were the survivors. Up next, The Undertaker defeated Heidenreich. And this match was pretty damn boring. I felt bad for The Undertaker that he had to carry Heidenreich and try to pull a good match out of the guy, because Heidenreich sucked and could not work. Women's champion Trish Stratus defeated Lita by DQ to retain the title, and I believe during this it ended in a brawl, and Trish got a broken nose. She actually broke her nose on the outside of the ring, I believe, when Lita was attacking her and threw her face into a steel chair. Trish landed face first on a steel chair and broke her nose. She had a bloody nose after the match. You could see her nose bleeding. SmackDown WWE Champion JBL defeated Booker T, which wasn't a very good match and was kind of boring. The team of Chris Benoit. Wait. Yeah, the team of Chris Benoit, Chris Jericho, Maven, and Randy Orton. I believe this was a Survivor Series tag match. Chris Benoit, Jericho, Maven, and Randy Orton defeated the team of Batista, Edge, Triple H, and Snitsky. Randy Orton was the only survivor. So Randy Orton, I believe, survives for the second year in a row at Survivor Series. Now I'm going to talk about NWA's, or I should say TNA's, first ever Sunday pay-per-view, which was called Victory Road, which happened on November 7th, 2004, from the Impact Zone. Hector Garza won a 20-man X Division Battle Royal, last pinning Frankie Kazarian. The team of, up next, Johnny B. Bad, Pat Kenny. Pat Kenny was Simon Diamond in ECW. And Ron Killings and Eric Watts defeated the team of Andy Douglas, Chase Stevens, Kid Cash, and Pirate Morgan, or some crap. Never heard of the guy, Pirate Morgan. Maybe that might have been Pierre from the WWE of the Quebecers. I'm not sure. B.G. James and Conan. I believe they were called 3 Live Crew at the time. They defeated NWA Tag Team Champions Bobby Roode and Eric Young to win the tag titles. Trinity defeated Jacqueline in a women's match. Monty Brown, the Alpha Male, defeated Raven and Abyss in a triple threat Monsters Ball match. TNA X Division champion Petey Williams defeated AJ Styles. There's a lot of matches on this victory road. America's Most Wanted defeated Christopher Daniels and Elix Skipper in a last team standing match. NWA World Heavyweight Champion, the main event, Jeff Jarrett taking on and defending the NWA title against Jeff Hardy in a ladder match. Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, I believe, did a run-in at the end and ran in and pushed Jeff Hardy off the ladder or something like that. All I know is I don't really remember what happened, but I know they interfered. And Jeff Jarrett won and retained the NWA World title after climbing up the ladder and getting the title down because of Scott Hall and Kevin Nash interfering. Or maybe just Scott Hall interfered. But I think both of the outsiders interfered to help Jeff Jarrett. And after this pay-per-view, at the next one they would do in December, I believe Jarrett, Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash, they were calling themselves the Kings of Wrestling. So I guess I'll talk about the next TNA pay-per-view, which was Turning Point 04 in December. Eric Young and Bobby Roode defeated NWA Tag Team Champions R-Truth and BG James to win the tag titles. Hector Garza, Sanjay Dutt, and Sonny Siaki defeated Kid Cash, Michael Shane, and Frankie Kazarian in a six-man. Monty Brown defeated Abyss in a Serengeti survival match. Pat Kenny and Johnny B. Bad. Why the fuck was Johnny B. Bad hired to work in TNA? I don't know why. I guess probably because they were just put on Fox Sports Net was TNA, and they were put on Fridays at 4 p.m. That was an awful time slot for TNA. And their first cable TV deal was on Fox Sports Net in 04. So I guess they hired Johnny B. Bad because they needed more talent to put on their Fox Sports Net show, even though it was only 1 hour long. They also had a syndicated show. TNA had TNA Explosion, which was on Fox Sports stations across the country. Like different Fox Sports Net channels. You could actually get TNA Explosion. I actually got it from Florida, Fox Sports Net channel. So Pat Kenny, Johnny B. Bad defeat the team of Glenn Galberti, who was a Disco Inferno in WCW, and Johnny Swinger, who was also in WCW and ECW. And Pat Kenny was Simon Diamond in ECW before TNA. DDP, Diamond Dallas Page. Yes, DDP actually worked in TNA for a very short time. A couple months. I think 3 or 4 or 5 months. DDP defeated Raven. TNA X Division champion Petey Williams defeated Chris Sabin. Jeff Hardy, AJ Styles, and Macho Man Randy Savage. Yes, Macho Man Randy Savage did work one TNA pay-per-view. He didn't come out in the beginning for some reason. I don't know why. But he came out when the match was close to the end. Macho Man came out. I think he hit a couple right hands on Jeff Jarrett or somebody on the other team. And then very weakly, it was pretty sad to watch, very weakly, the Macho Man rolled up Jeff Jarrett in a schoolboy to defeat him. So Jeff Hardy, AJ, and Randy Savage defeat the team of Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, and Jeff Jarrett. But that was not the main event. The main event was a tag team steel cage match. America's Most Wanted defeated Elix Skipper and Christopher Daniels in a cage match. 6 sides of steel. And you had Elix Skipper during this match do an amazing and insane spot where he walked across one of the cages and then did a Hurricanrana head scissors, I believe, on James Storm or Chris Harris. I believe he did a Hurricanrana on Chris Harris off the cage. Chris Harris was sitting on top of the cage. Elix Skipper walks across the cage like The Undertaker walks across the top rope. So Elix Skipper walks across the cage. That was dangerous as hell. The guy could have fell off the cage and fell to the floor and broke his leg because the cage was at least 20 feet high. So he walks across the cage and then pulls off a head scissors on Chris Harris, and he does his spot where he does whatever you call it, a somersault off the top of the cage while he was sitting. That was awesome. The Impact Zone loved it. They went wild. They went crazy. The Impact Zone exploded when Elix Skipper pulled off that running across the cage head scissors. It was amazing. It was a great, great spot to watch. And for months and months into 05, TNA kept showing that of what Elix Skipper did. It was an amazing move. I can't believe he even pulled it off. So that was Turning Point 04. It was much better than Victory Road. So that Turning Point 04 was TNA's second ever Sunday night pay-per-view, 3-hour pay-per-view. Now I'm going to go back to WWE and Armageddon. In this video, I do not want to be an hour, so I'm going to try to end soon. Got one more event to talk about. I think. Let's see what else I wrote back. I wrote some stuff about Randy Orton and Triple H burying him because he did bury Randy Orton at Unforgiven 04, and Randy Orton did not even come back from that until the summer of 2006, in my opinion. So that loss to Triple H after holding the World Heavyweight Championship for only 1 month, that loss to Triple H really hurt Randy Orton's career, and he didn't even come back from that until summer 06, where they started putting him in a feud with John Cena. And they, I believe, main evented SummerSlam 06, was Orton and Cena. Hopefully I'm not wrong about that. I'm pretty sure I was wrong. Because SummerSlam 06, Edge took on John Cena. Randy Orton defeated Hulk Hogan at SummerSlam 06, so pretty good push there for Randy Orton. And then he'd eventually win the championship in October 06 at No Mercy. So, Armageddon I was talking about, 04. Rey Mysterio and Rob Van Dam defeated Rene Dupree and Kenzo Suzuki. I don't think it was for the tag titles. And this was a SmackDown pay-per-view. Danielle Puner, the guy who won Tough Enough 3, was a former MMA fighter. Danielle Puner defeated Mike The Miz, or Mike Mazarin, whatever, however you say his name. He defeated The Miz in a 3-round Tough Enough Dixie dogfight boxing match. And the crowd got to decide the winner of the boxing match. I believe The Miz lost. I think. The Basham brothers defeated Charlie Haas and Hardcore Holly. That was pretty boring. U.S. champion John Cena defeated Jesus, or Jose was his name. I don't remember the guy's name. All I know is he was like a bodyguard to Carlito. So John Cena defeated Jesus in a street fight. If that's not how you say his name, that's how it's written down in front of me. It's written as Jesus. Dawn Marie defeated Jackie Gata, and Charlie Haas was a special guest referee, and Jackie Gata was married to Charlie Haas and dating him at the time, or they were married already. And they had a storyline going where Dawn Marie was claiming and telling Jackie Gata she was having an affair with Charlie Haas, so that's why they had a match at Armageddon. Big Show defeated Kurt Angle, Mark Jindrak, and Luther Reigns in a handicap match. That was okay. Wasn't that good? Funaki pinned Cruiserweight Champion Spike Dudley to win the Cruiserweight title. SmackDown WWE Champion JBL defeated and amazingly retained against Booker T, Eddie Guerrero, and The Undertaker in a fatal 4-way match where the finish was JBL pinned Booker T, so JBL retains and would go on to hold the title from July 04, or no, June 04 until WrestleMania 21 in April 05. So JBL would have a pretty long WWE title run from June 04 to April 05. So that was Armageddon. Decent pay-per-view, but not really worth watching. Unless you want to watch it for the main event, which was a fatal 4-way and pretty decent fatal 4-way. So this ends my year in wrestling video for 2004. I'm done talking about 2004. And pretty soon, I'm not going to do many more year of wrestling videos until January. After New Year's, I'll start doing my year in wrestling videos again if you care to know. I'm going to just take a break and not do many year wrestling videos at all. I'm not going to do any until after January. Pretty soon. On probably November 20th, I'm going to stop doing year in wrestling videos because I don't have the time to do them. I will still do my pay-per-view NXT and WWE pay-per-view preview predictions and review videos. I will still do those. And next week I'll be doing my Undertaker week. I'll be doing 3 videos on The Undertaker and some of my favorite Undertaker matches and some of my favorite Undertaker feuds. So next week on the WWE Network, they're doing Undertaker week. And next week on my YouTube channel, I'll be putting out 3 Undertaker videos, and I'll be calling it Undertaker Week. So this ends my year in wrestling 2004 part 3 video. I'm done talking about 2004. Hope you enjoyed it. I know it went on a bit long, but if you didn't want to watch it all, you won't offend me. I don't really care. I just hope you watched at least 5 or 10 minutes, because I'm not doing these videos just for nothing. I'm doing them, hopefully, I'm doing them for you people that subscribe to my channel. I'm doing them for you guys. And hopefully, I'm not doing them for nothing. As I said, hopefully at least I get 5 views. Anyways, hope you enjoyed my year in wrestling 2004 part 3 videos. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also follow me on Twitter at TNA WWE Guy and at NXT WWE Guy. Bye for now. Have a good Thursday.